I'm Fran Mensch. I live at 1413 Lynn Park Drive.
Welcome, Fran.
Thank you. I would like to, before I speak, point out that there are probably, what do you think, 60 people here? Is that a fair estimate? There are 60 people here in support of Oakwood, right? 75, okay. 75 people here. A very large, healthy group, enthusiastic and informed group, as you can tell. I'm here to speak on behalf of the citizens for Oakwood. Despite the impression that you may have, Oakwood is not a done deal. I would like to repeat that. Oakwood is not a done deal. Citizens for Oakwood began working to purchase this wonderful property when it appeared, to purchase it and to turn it into a public passive park a year ago when it was put on the market. We held a public meeting in February of 2010. From that, we developed a steering committee. We met and we invited the Trust for Public Land to work on our behalf to purchase this property and turn it into a public passive park. They did so on our behalf. They purchased a 90-day option from the sellers, and they were not able to raise the funds within the 90 days. That expired at the end of October. In November, we launched a letter writing campaign to Metroparks. Many of you took part in that, and I appreciate we all appreciate your effort. And we did get have a very positive conversation with Metroparks. I attended the board meeting, and they did not make a solid commitment. They cannot, but they spoke very positively about managing Oakwood once it was purchased. We also had very positive conversation with our role model, West Creek Preservation Committee. This is a very successful, vibrant group that in the past 12 years has been able to acquire, fighting tooth and nail, to acquire over 550 acres in the Parma area. We then, after November, in December, we launched the capital campaign. And this purchase and option on the part of the developer has not changed our plans. Our plans for Oakwood remain the same. They are not changed. The developer, and this is complicated, this is a complicated process. It's going to be it's not a linear process, as people have already talked about. The developer did purchase the South Euclid portion of the Oakwood property. He did not purchase the Cleveland Heights portion. He purchased an option. And we, as Citizens for Oakwood, got that far with the Trust for Public Land. This is the most important sentence. It's been spoken before. Both parts were zoned residential many years ago. Many years ago. They are zoned for residential purposes only. Many communities, we have to take heart, many communities have gone through this and are doing so as we speak. This is not an uncommon situation where green space, a developer has a proposal for a green space. This is complicated. You have to think about it and read about it. It will take time, but we will work our ways through it. What we really are asking, and everybody else has said this evening, we are asking for the city to follow the rules. This was zoned many years ago to be a residential property in both South Euclid and Cleveland Heights. We merely want to follow those rules and the community's wishes. We are collaborating with South Euclid. Anyone out there in television land, South Euclid is the first, if that is breached, if it is zoned, if it is rezoned, that is going to make things 4 times more difficult. If you know anybody in South Euclid, we are collaborating with people in South Euclid. We have leadership there, but if you know anybody there, please talk to them about how they are the first break wall, firewall. I don't have the right analogy, but we all have to mobilize to get the word out to South Euclid. This land has a huge constituency. Behind the 75 people here, you probably all represent 100 people. And if we get to those people, this park does have a constituency. If we get to those people, they will respond, and they will act on behalf of their own interests and Oakwood. So please spread the word. We're desperate to spread the word. This is important too. We are not against development. We want development in the right place. Several other people have talked about this tonight. We have aging, old, crumbling, vacant commercial properties. I would love for this developer, we all would love for this developer, another one, with these resources, this entrepreneurial know-how, to come to the city, pick one of these areas. It's been mentioned very articulately by people previously. Pick one of these areas and develop that. We would welcome that. We would help that. We would welcome them with open arms. So we are not against development. We want it in the right place. We want good jobs for people in this community. We do not want to sacrifice our community to a development of just any kind. Vibrant cities, everybody knows this, vibrant cities are a balance of green space, residential, and commercial properties. The perfect example of that is the most sought after and most expensive property in New York City is where? Central Park. Thank you. Overlooking Central Park, right. We look for, one last thing. Many people here, we know many people who are not in this room, have been demoralized by the revelations about our county government, demoralized about the nature of our government. So we look to this process, we come to it, we look for this to be a model of open and complete and thorough discussion between citizens and government and business. And doing that, we will work toward the best outcome for all of us. And time for a commercial break. We are Citizens for Oakwood. We have a Facebook page, Citizens for Oakwood. You can email the steering committee at CFO, which stands for Citizens for Oakwood, at heightssnow.org. Heights Snow has that pesky double S in the middle. And if you also can get information, we can pass this around, you can also get information from visiting the website, www.heightssnow.org. Thank you, and on behalf of Oakwood, I thank all of you for showing up.
Thank you, Fran. Is there anyone else who would like to speak tonight? Anybody else? Oh, please.
Hi, my name's Christina Collins. I live at 2244 Maplewood Road, and I'm a student at Case Western Reserve University.
Welcome, Christina.
Thank you. And for brevity's sake, I would just like to say that I like parks very much, and that is all. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anybody out in the hallway would they like to address council tonight, please? Anyone who walked in late? Please. Take your time.
I'm Marjorie Preston. I live at 3827 East Antisdale in South Euclid. So
Welcome, Marjorie.
It's in my backyard. So I'm one of those South Euclid people. Sorry, I've got a 3-year-old at home, so I was a little bit late working at home until the husband could take over. But just to say that there's really not a park within walking distance that's not, you don't have to cross Warrensville or Cedar or major highway, or not highway, but major thoroughfare to get to, and it would be really a wonderful thing to have a park in our backyard, and that's really it. We don't have anything like that. They're talking about creating a little park where Milliking used to be, and that's great, but for right now, there's nowhere for us to go that we can't drive to, and of course we had our problems with South Euclid with some youths burning down our park earlier this year, or last year, so we'd really like some green space. I know that if more of the residents of East Annisdale could be here, they'd probably not be too happy about the light pollution, noise pollution that we're expecting from the development coming up, and I'd just really like to see it developed with the beautiful river that's going, little brook that's going through there, and all the wonderful features that the land has. It would be a shame to pave it over. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Marjorie. Yes, please. Please.
I'm from South Euclid also. So,
Your name and address for the record.
Anna Julness, 3760 Eastway Road.
Welcome tonight.
Thank you. What happened, I remember, I'm kind of activist also. I remember we fight for Legacy Village, against Legacy Village, for this forest over there. When it like vanished, nobody even remember maybe about it. And they say, well, we couldn't do it because it will be a revenue for our schools. They bring lots of revenue for the schools. And they built the Legacy Village. Next year, they passed the levy for Linkhurst, South Euclid School District. So where is the money? Where is this revenue? It's all lie. And I think it will be the same here. If we build the big box stores here, it will not be revenue, it will be tax levy again. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Chris Auerbach Brown, and I live at 1594 Wood Road.
Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. I've been there for about 6 years, and I have a couple little kids, and my house is kind of like the epicenter of where all the little kids play in the neighborhood. And we also live right across the street from the little private drive that dumps out of the back end of Oakwood Drive. And one of my concerns about this development is that particular drive-through street, as well as the, I think it's Andrews Street, the very quiet street that's on the other end of the park in Cleveland Heights, will turn into cut-through streets for traffic coming out of the stores and the restaurants and the whatnot. And it's basically going to wreck sort of the quiet sort of nature of our neighborhood, which is very kid-friendly. The other thing I'm kind of wanted to propose was that people have talked about sort of a housing market glut in the area with the abandoned homes and things. I'd like to propose that we also have a mall glut in our area. Not only do we have Severance Mall, which I can walk to from my house, 10 minutes. If we have this development here, I can turn around, walk on my front door that way, and go over to yet another mall. We also have Cedar Center, which has not been developed. It's sort of sitting, and I'm sort of watching it and seeing what happens with that. We have University Square, which is also right across the street from Cedar Center. We have Legacy Village, La Plaza. We have other malls. I think those are the 4 or 5 big malls in the area. And
Richmond Mall.
Richmond Mall, which is like within maybe like there are like a number of malls within about a 5-mile radius already. And most of those malls contain big box stores and things of that nature already. So the idea that the developer is going to bring in yet another big box store when there is all of these other malls that have empty storefronts, stores that move out, it's an idea that is really, it just seems sort of like putting a square peg in a round hole. It doesn't seem like it'd be a real good fit. What I think would happen instead of bringing in big box developers is that this particular development would just steal stores from other developments and move jobs from one community to another instead of creating new jobs. And I think that that is something it's only a lateral move. It's not really going to help us in terms of a bigger sort of picture for our businesses in the area. And I do agree about the housing market too. I think it is definitely it's a market that is kind of glutted. We have a number of houses on our street that are empty and have been empty. One of them has been empty for probably 15 years. And there's only recently have we had few people coming in to buy empty houses on our street to develop them. So it's the housing it's peculiar, and also, like I said, there are already malls and other big box developments in the area that are just literally within walking distance of my house already. So I would rather just see it be kept as a park or something that is green space friendly, and it would benefit the kids in the neighborhood because there are a lot, including my own, and I just think that would be much wiser use of the space overall than bringing in a Costco and some chain restaurants. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Anyone else?